Guys, thank you very much for everything. You guys are awesome. Now, guys, remember in life, you grow, you change, you do things, you have fun. People grow with you. Sometimes they take a break, sometimes they come back, sometimes we all grow in different ways, and we all want to remember that there's nothing wrong with growing or changing or being, like Madonna. Like I followed Madonna for years. I love Madonna for years. I think she's awesome. Even though she's been through major changes, I mean, she's not 30 anymore, but she looks stunning in a different way. She's like almost like a different person now, right? But she's gorgeous. She looks the same, but I mean, she's a different person now. I've stood by her as a fan. I don't know how she would feel about me in general, but as a fan, I've stood by her for years because even though she changed a lot, I like her creativity. I like who she is, right? But let's just say I didn't like what she did anymore, or like maybe when she's 70, maybe she does something totally different. Maybe she does something completely different and I'm just not interested in her music. I mean, maybe she has a bad album, right? Or maybe her album was not good to me, even though I loved every single album almost, right? But it's like every person, we all grow and change. And some of her albums, some of her albums I don't care for really particularly, right? But I still love Madonna, right? And I still think she's awesome. But we all grow and change. We all, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? Sometimes we need a break from someone, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we need to change how we think about someone to realize how great they are, right? So it's not, at the end of the day, like I've had people join my lives, and they've joined my lives and they love my lives, and maybe they stop going in my lives for years, and then they come back, or in general, maybe I go in someone's life and I'm not feeling it as much as I did before or whatever, or maybe I am. I just need a couple days to recoup or change my mind process, right? Like you have to remember, sometimes we just get the feeling where we're just like, we don't feel the person is what we think they are. And then we're like, maybe a week later, we're like, yeah, they're awesome. I like them very much. Why didn't I think that way, right? But I mean, you can't help what your feelings are, right? And you have to remember, like people, especially when people are in your lives, right? You're hot one minute, you might not be hot the next, but in general, people have connections where they connect to each other, and if that connection changes for whatever reason, maybe it'll change back in a week or whatever, but if that connection changes, it's not like a big deal, right? Because that person might be perfect for that person to watch again later. I mean, you have to remember, I'm all for people's success, right? So let's say somebody just feels like they don't care for me anymore, or they like me even more, and I just want them to do what they want to do, right? I support trans people, I support LGBTQ, I support race, religion, all that, right? But connection between people, sometimes you have a connection, sometimes you don't, right? But in general, I believe, a lot of people like who I am and think I'm really good. And, that will never change to some people. And some people maybe they think, oh, whatever, right? But, for me, I just think, you have to just ride through everything, right? Face everything, right? So somebody doesn't, if you really like someone a lot, I like certain people a lot, and if they don't like me for a time or they don't like me for whatever, that happens naturally, right? But I'm not gonna be upset because there's other people, right? And maybe they're not gonna be upset for the same reason. But, I value certain people a lot. Like even like Madonna, right? I value Madonna a ton, right? But if I value Madonna a ton, um, you know, how she feels with my performance or how she feels with who I am, I'm not gonna judge because I don't necessarily know her as a person, right? So it's not like I have to really worry about, oh, she doesn't like me this or that, or she does love me, right? I don't know her as a person, right? Maybe she can't stand my type of people. Maybe she doesn't like me in general. You can't really worry about stuff like that, right? And even if Madonna insulted me, which she's like the one that I idolize the most, but I mean, I don't know, like she's too, I don't want to date her because she's older. But but I idolize her the most, and I think she's amazing. But you know, I mean, I'm not gonna worry if she insults me or says, "Oh my God, why is this guy like this?" Right? Because at the end of the day, I mean, she might do that because a lot of celebrities will talk about each other and shade or whatever. But I mean, I just think, you know, I just think if you're confident in your own skin, doesn't matter who comes and goes or comes back or doesn't come back or comes back because there was never an issue, just a connection thing at one point. But if they come and go, whatever, um, you know, I'm not going to worry about it because at the end of the day, I'm doing my thing, they're doing their thing. If it connects, it connects. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it comes back, great. I mean, for me, sometimes you just don't connect for a moment, right? And you're like, oh, why was that happening, right? But in general, you know, that kind of thing doesn't really, you know, it's not a big deal, right? Because sometimes we grow and change in different ways. Sometimes it's just something that's just happens, right? And it makes no sense, so you don't worry about it, and then the person comes back because they're like, well, it made no sense that you felt that way, or I felt that way, right? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Totally enjoy the show. Yes, I want my fans to know. I want them to do well, regardless of whether they're supporting me or not, because I want them to be famous and I want them to be exceptionally well, doing exceptionally well. And fans come and go, but my fans always stay by me because they love me so much. And I think it's very important to remember that, um, you know, fighting for human rights, fighting for certain things is important. And like I said, sometimes you feel you've grown out of a person, but it might not be accurate, right? Anyway, I love all my fans. I want them all to be happy. I want them all to live life to the full. A lot of my fans have stopped coming in my life and then they come back years later when they have more money, or they come back years later because they're more motivated to see me. Or, you know, people have a certain reason sometimes to see your channel. Maybe they want ideas. Maybe the ideas that they're getting from you aren't good anymore. You know what I mean? But um, we all want to just do our own thing and do what we want, right? Same goes with everybody, right? So if somebody's not driving with you at the time, or maybe it does, seems like it, but they're not really not driving with you, it just seems like it, then, you know, you live life, you move on, and then maybe you connect later, maybe you don't, maybe you do all the time later. I mean, I have no reason why, all my fans are amazing. All my fans are so great. Trans, LGBTQ, cross-dressers, race, religion, all my fans are great. But yes, thank you everyone. Bye now.